Good morning everyone. I am V.S. Pinna from MBA Business Analytics, and today I am here to present my topic, which is economies and diseconomies of scale. Now we will start from the meaning of the economies of scale. That was the advantage of cost when a firm produces in a bulk amount of products, and it reduces the cost per unit. Like economies of scale refers to the cost advantage that a firm experiences as it increases the scale of its production. These advantages arises because the firm can spread fixed cost over a large volume of output, leading to a reduction in the average cost per unit. In simpler term, as a firm produces more, it can achieve greater efficiency and lower cost per unit, which enhances its competitiveness and profitability. Now we will move to the chart of economies of scale, which has two parts. First one is real economies and the second one is pecuniary economies. And in this real economies we have further four parts, which is first one is production, second one is selling and marketing, third one is managerial, fourth one is transport and storage. We will start from the first one, that is production. And the production have for the three topics, which is labor, technical capital and inventory economics. We can say it like production economies may arises from the factor labor, fixed capital, which is included in technical economies, and from the inventory sections. And the first one is labor economies are achieved as the scale of output increases for the several reasons like specialization, time saving, automation of the production process, cumulative volume economies. And the technical economies, we can say that this is associated with the fixed capital, which includes all type of machinery and other equipments like specialization and increasing in capital, setup cost, initial fixed cost, technical volume input relations, reserve capacity requirements. And the third one is inventory economies. In this we can say like the role of inventories is to meet the random changes in input and output sides of the operation of the firm. And next we have chart of the second part of the real economics, which was selling and marketing. And selling and marketing have the four parts, which is advertising, large scale production, promotion, and the third one is exclusive dealer with obligation for maintaining service department, and the model change economies. And now we can say like selling or marketing economies may like associated with the distribution of product of a firm. Like main type of economies are like advertising, other large scale economies for special arrangement with exclusive details dealers, more change economies. Like in advertising expense are not necessary or for a new firm, that are for new product, for establishing firm who needs a minimum of advertising in order to keep their name in minds of actual or potential customers. And in modern industry we can say like firm need to change the style of their product for as per the requirement of the customer. And the change of a model or a style of a product involves considerable expenses in research and development for researching in possible new material and equipments for the searching of a new product or a style of a new product, that are spreading a such of overhead over per unit in scale of output in large. And the next one is the third and the fourth part was managerial and transport and storage. We can say like you can see that managerial have the two parts, specialization and teamwork experience decentralization, and the second is mechanization and time saving managerial techniques. We can say like managerial economies and the partially production cost and the partially selling cost. As you can see, like the managerial term is a firm is concerned with the both of production and the distribution activities of the firm. Like grouping of managerial cost separate cost category, facilitates their analysis and particular the analysis of possible of source of diseconomies of a large scale plants. Like managerial economies arises from the various reasons like specialization of management, mechanization of managerial functions, and we can see there are the fourth part have the further two topics, which is storage and transport. In storage, transport costs are incurred partially for the production side and the partially from the selling side. Like the transport of final products, the transport of raw material, which includes the production side, and in the transport of final product, the result that we product have to sell in the market was the selling product, and which holds the storage cost. Like storage cost will clearly fall with size, that how much amount of storage we want for the firm. The construction of storehouse follows broadly as the same rules of the geometrical relationship between the surface capacity, volume and inputs. The storage cost curve will thus be falling in general, but we will be like the technical indivisibility and discontinuous, that how much we want to store, we can the cost will depends on it. The analysis of transport cost is more complicated. The exhaustive examination of transport cost goes beyond the scope of this book. We can, however, give some ideas like problem involving the treatment of the transport cost. In economies of scale, first we will study about the real economies, and the second part was the pecuniary economies. We will discuss now the pecuniary economies at the 5 further parts. First one is lower price for bulk buying of raw material. Second one is lower cost of finance. Third one is lower cost of advertising a large scale. Fourth one is lower transport rates. Fifth one is lower wages and salaries due to monopolistic power of the large firms. We can discuss about the pecuniary economies of scale first, like these economies occurring to the firm due to discount that it can be obtained due to its large scale operation, like lower price of its raw material bought from the special discounts from its suppliers. Like if we have the supplies from many times, they can give our special discounts for the raw material. Lower cost of external finance. Banks usually offer loans to large corporations at a lower rates of interest and other favorable terms, we can say, like lower advertising prices may be granted to large firms if they advertising at large scale. Transport rates and offer often lower if the amount of commodities transport are large. If the bulk of supplies or the bulk of product are going in one round from the transport, it can reduces the cost. And finally, the large firm may be able to pay large earning to the workers, and it attain a size which gives the monopolistic power, or due to prestige associated with the employment by a large well-known firm. And then we have three graphs. The first one shows there is a diseconomies at a very large scale of output. We can see the traditional envelope for that. There is a minimum optimum scale of output at which all possible economies have been repeated, as so the cost remains constant beyond the level. Third one says there is an economies of scale at all level of outputs, although their magnitude becomes small beyond a certain scale. By seeing all the three graphs in your screen, as you can see, and the next slide we have example for the economies of scale. There are lots of examples. For the technical economies, we can see say that achieved by using more efficient production techniques on investing is more specialized machinery. Second one is managerial economies, like gained by the better division of labor and specialization of management as the firm expands. Like a big firm, we can say. Like purchasing economies, there are occur when the firm is able to negotiate bulk discount from the supplier due to large order quantities. When we order large amount of quantity from a particular supplier for the last few years or the last times, the supplier trusts you on the like you can pay on time, you give the interest on time, or you are a customer of them, so they can give you a large discount for the raw material you want to purchase. Financial economies result when the large firms are able to secure capital at a lower cost due to their size, better credit worthiness. Then we can secure our financial economies. And we have the advantage and disadvantage of economies of scale. In advantage, we can say lower average cost per unit, and it lower our cost. Second is increased market power, or third one is greater investment in technology, research and development, and innovation. Like the economies of scale helps to R&D and innovation, technology investment, and like we can say it is a greater investment for them. Better access to cheaper finance, enhanced stability through diversification, potential for improved product quality, more opportunities for innovation. Like we have more and more opportunity to innovate our product, our policies, or things to for more competitive to stay in the competitive market. There are disadvantages of economies are there, like diminishing return to scale as the firm size increases, loss of flexibility and responsiveness. Third one is risk of monopoly or reduces competition. Fourth one is over dependence on a single product on market. Like increased complexity in management and coordination, potential environmental and social cost, barrier to entry for a new firm, and they create a monopoly there, managerial overreach and inefficiency in large scale operations. We have our second topic, which is diseconomies of scale. Diseconomies of scale refers to the increase in per unit cost. In economies of scale, that a reduction in per unit cost, but in diseconomies we have increase in per unit cost, that in a firm experience when it has become too large. Like these occurs after a certain point of expansion, where the firm size and complexity leads to the inefficiency that overweight the benefits derived from economies of scale. Essentially, diseconomies of scale are the negative effect of growth and result in a higher cost of production per unit as the firm continues to expand beyond the optimal size. This is the like a definition or a meaning of the diseconomies of scale. In next slide, we have a chart of types of diseconomies of scale. Like in we have lots of parts in economies of scale, but in this type of diseconomies we have only two: the internal and the external. We can study the internal, that occurs due to the firm's own internal process and management inefficiency as it increases in size. Internal diseconomies of scale and are typically the result of the firm's own growth, organization structure, and operation limitations. And the next one is external. In this we can see these are the diseconomies arises due to factor outside the firm, often related to the broader industries or economy in which the firm operates. Like external diseconomies of scale typically after the multiple firm which the same industry or sector as they collectively expand the size of the firm. In next slide, we have the types of internal diseconomies. As you can see, there are the 4, 5, 6 parts. First one is managerial diseconomies. Second is communication problems, loss of flexibility. Fourth one is resource wastage. Fifth one is bureaucratic inefficiency. Sixth one is decreased employee motivation. In managerial diseconomies, we can say that when the firm grow, managing a large workspace is a complex operation for any manager. It become difficult to manage all the things on time and a large scale that the need of hierarchical layers of managerial increases. The hierarchy increases, the level of communication or the level of the personality we have, and they are increase in numbers. We got more managers or the more responsibility over the firm. Second one is communication problem. In the large firm, effective communication because the harder to maintain. Information needs to pass through the more layer of the management. If there is a small firm, we can easily communicate from the higher authority, from the lower authority. But in large firm, we have number of layers. We have more information to pass through the number of layers of the organization, and this can slow down decision making, result and misunderstanding, you can see. Like in third one is loss of flexibility. Large firms may become less adaptable to change in the market due to the complexity of the structure and the formalization of process. In resource wastage, as the firm grow, they may become inefficient in utilizing their resources, large scale operation, and lead to overproduction, unnecessary inventories, and the underutilization of labor. Fourth one is bureaucratic inefficiency. In this, if the firm expands, it often adapts more of formalized produces, rules, or regulations like the managed operation. Excessive bureaucratic can slow down decision making and introduce unnecessary cost there. In resource wastage, we can see as the firm grow, they may become the inefficient in utilizing their resources. Like large scale of operation can lead to the overproducts, unnecessary inventories, and the underutilization of labor. Like we have large amount of labors, but they are not working for us, so it can be huge cost for us by the firm. Decreased employee motivation, can say in large firm, employees may feel less personally connected to the firm goals. This lead to be the dismorale, lower motivation, and increased absentees. Like if the employee do not feel connected to the organization goals, it leads to the bad thing in the company that employees feel demotivated from this. Next, we have types of external diseconomies of scale. In this, we have more 6 parts, which is rising input cost, increased competitive for resources, environmental constraints, market situations, infrastructure and traffic concessions, regulatory pressures. The external means the outside of the business, which affects the business, like rising input cost. As firm in an industry expand, they may increase the demand for a raw material, labor, and the other inputs, leading to the higher price for the input across the market. The second one is increased competition for resources. In industries with limited resource or skills, growth by multiple firms may lead to the overwhelming in the labor market of the suppliers, increasing the cost of the requiring these resources. The third one is the environmental constraints, which the growth of a firm in a certain industries can lead to the environmental strains or a local infrastructure, leading to increased operational cost for the firm in this area. And the next we can say market, as the number of firms in a particular industry grows. If a market carries a large number of firms, this can lead to the intense competition. If there is a large number of firms in the market, it means there is a large number of competition between them, price wars and reduced profitability for the firm within the industry. Fourth one is infrastructure traffic concessions. In this, as firm expand within a particular region or industry, the local infrastructure, like this is the result of a traffic congestion, like delay in transportation, like higher logistical cost for the firm operation in the area. Sixth one is regulatory pressures, like as industry grow, government may introduce stricter regulations and control to manage the increased sale of the production, environmental impact on them, public welfare. There are lots of things a business or a firm have to face for the society. The regulation increases cost of doing business. If the government increases the rules and regulation, so a firm has to put efforts on them, and it also can occur a huge cost for this. There are last topic of our presentation is advantage and disadvantage of diseconomies of scale. In advantage of scale, fostering innovation. Like diseconomies can push firm to the innovative in process and technologies. That was an advantage for a firm. Second one is encouraging specialization. Firms can make narrow focus and specialized in certain markets. Third one is decentralization and autonomy. Firm may decentralized like operation involving improving responsiveness. And the fourth one is optimizing resources allocation. Firms may improve their resources usage of reduce waste. Revaluation of growth strategies, like firm may resist and adjust the growth plans to become more sustainable. And like we have advantage of the diseconomies, and we have also the disadvantage of diseconomies. Every topic have their positive and negative points. Now we can go through with the negative points, which is rising per unit cost. As the diseconomies increases the per unit cost, because the firm size beyond optimal grows optimal scale. Second one is managerial inefficiency. As we have already noted that the size getting too large, and it is complex or difficult to manage that. Coordination and control become more difficult. Third one is communication breakdowns. Information flow becomes slower and less accurate, like decreased flexibility. The firm become less adaptable to the market changes, as the firm becoming a large area, and that it is applicable to the large area, so it is difficult to adapt the flexibility that the market have their own the flexibility repeatedly. The last part is increased cost of administration. The large number of firm, I mean the large scale, a large area of a firm, that they want more staff and more overhead cost reduces profits. Okay, so thank you.